Good evening, Miss May. How are you doing?
Fine, Holly. How are you? So good to see you.
I'm very well.
again.
It's good to see you again. Haven't seen you since October of 2019, right?
Is that what it was?
That was, yeah. So wanted to just start off. You had a big day on Sunday. It was your 95th birthday. So congratulations on that. Happy birthday.
I thank you. Thank you, Holly. The West Coast Trust, the Trust Park out in California, did a video, and that was so nice.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that was real nice. That was my celebration, and I got so many cards. It's unbelievable. So many emails. It's so nice.
That's because you're so wonderful. Everyone loves you.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. So 2019 is when we met. Just to recap a little bit, we met in Normandy, right, in June of 2019 for the 75th anniversary. And then we got to meet in Oklahoma City for this same symposium in October of that year. But that was a very different year than the previous one we've had, huh?
That certainly was. I said, what a change it's made in our lives. I was having so much fun traveling, but even though I'm 10 in, I still am so busy. It's very nice, very rewarding, very rewarding. I've achieved
That's
a
good.
lot, even though I've been shut in.
Right. No, I know everyone's handled this whole situation very differently, but you've just kind of dug in and done a lot of work to take care of yourself and take care of others. And so you actually answered the call to duty to your country again this last year, didn't you? In making masks for everyone.
But that was so funny, Holly. It started out, you know how I always made the bandanas. I love making the bandanas and bringing them with me whenever we came to any of the fairs. And instead I just switched from bandanas to face masks. And I was sending them out to all of our friends, all different people that had helped us so far with the Rosie programs. And I'd made over 300 when all of a sudden it went viral. And we just got so many requests, even 6 countries was requesting. So we had to cut it off at 5,000. And today I've just found out I only have 404 masks to make now.
Only.
I said, my son's going to put a big banner on my head. I'm going to take a picture of me at the sewing machine and say, hurrah. But,
Yeah.
you know, we're just continuing to get requests all the time. So it won't be the end of it, but it's so rewarding.
Right. No, I thank you very much for getting me mine early on when before you started getting all your viral requests. I appreciate that. It's been awesome. It's very well made mask, and get to represent the Rosies every time I wear it. So I understand you had a whole outfit of people helping you with that. You were requesting volunteers to help coordinate it and get fabric. Is that right?
Well, Courtney's my right-hand man where it comes to, I'm clueless where I can handle the computer, but nothing like this. So she's my right-hand man. She's great. But no, when we first started, it was great because I couldn't do that all by myself. And this lady from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, she called me and she says, May, can I help you? And I said, oh my God, can you help me? And she's been outstanding. Her name is Deb Wilson. And she's just handled all of the bookwork, the packaging, the mailing, and then Boeing stepped in and they're sending out a lot of them for us. But people helped us address the envelopes. And some of them helped sew. We still have a lady from Oregon that's still helping us sew. She can't right now. She has a death in the family, but we're getting to the end. I guess of that 5,000, I must have made at least two-thirds of maybe more.
Right. Well, at a minimum, even if you didn't hand make each of them yourself, you made it happen. You brought all those people together, and just like you came to the need of your country during World War II, you did the same thing here in taking care of your fellow citizens. So thank you for that. And that was pretty incredible. Saw it all over my Facebook and how they had to ask for people to pause and putting in orders because they just couldn't keep up.
And it's so rewarding, Holly. I've got a huge box of letters from all over the country, everywhere, even Puerto Rico. And they all love our country. They're all so patriotic. And when you see the things that are going wrong in this country, you've got to see the majority of the people. They're great Americans. And I said, you know, the letters, I read every letter, every email I get. And some make you laugh, some make you cry. It's just amazing the stories I'm hearing. And that's so rewarding because, you know, that's where it's at, the love of our country and our people. I mean, it's really nice. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding.
Right. No, absolutely. And speaking of, I understand you got your vaccine earlier in March.
That was cute. They had it all set up for the photographers in the newspaper was there. They said if Rosie Riveter's not afraid to get her or a shot, then you shouldn't be either. And I thought it was nice. And, you know,
Yeah,
it's encouraged the
absolutely.
people because a lot of people are afraid of it or they don't want to get it. They should.
So I was going to ask if you have any message for anyone that's nervous about it, or how you felt when you got yours that day, and anything you'd like to say.
I didn't give it a second thought. It was just a necessary thing. The country said we should do it. And so I just did it. And my feeling is if people realize everybody's doing it, they'll start to, you know, join in the crowd. I'm sure most people I know are getting their shots. And very few are getting sick, whereas everybody was worried about getting sick, but very few are getting sick from it. So that's a good thing.
Well, yeah, once again, you were an example for the rest of us. So thank you for that, and being courageous and strong. So you had one other, well, you had a couple other, but the biggest achievement over the last year since I saw you, you finally got the Congressional Gold Medal for the Rosie the Riveter. So congratulations on that. So excited for you. I know you were pitching it at our conference in 2019, and I just wanted to see how you felt about that, and how that all went down in making that happen in the final stretch there last year.
Well, that's so exciting because, you know, I worked so hard and so long, so many years to get this gold medal. And when Senator Casey, he called me a few times when my mask went viral. He was real happy about that. And he called me as we progressed with the gold medal. When we finally got it, he called me. He said, well, how do you feel? And, you know, I was sort of dumbfounded. I said, it was what I worked for. But the journey getting there, all the people I met, the wonderful people, I said, it's just amazing. That was so rewarding. It was almost as rewarding to the people I met along the way. And I think that's so nice. He was kidding me. He said, May, you're, how did he put it? He said, you're a free lobbyist or unpaid lobbyist. You know, it was cute. But you know what happened there, Holly? It was amazing. Well, we had reached 29. We got the House without any problem at all. But we just was at a standstill. We get 29 with the Senate. And I was the last one when I was down in Washington, we were able to pick up Rubio. And that was the last one. And we worked and worked. And all of a sudden, you know, we have an Honor Rosie on our Facebook. And we went to these people that are following us. We got, I think, 5,500 followers on Facebook on Honor Rosie. And we give them a list of all of the ones that hadn't signed on yet. And they went after their senators and their representatives. With no time at all, we got 72. And so, you know, it's amazing what people will do if you can reach them. And I was just so happy about that.
No, absolutely.
So
very well deserved.
It was nice.
How many days or hours would you say that you spent on the Hill trying to make that happen and meeting people?
Oh, I have no idea. I've worked for 40 years to get women recognized. You know, I just thought after World War II, we didn't think too much of it right afterwards because we were too busy putting our lives back together. But as the time went on, I realized they didn't recognize what the women did. And up until 1941, it was a man's world. They didn't know how capable American women were.
Right.
And we've proved that what we can do anything. And I think it's so amazing. So I just sit down and write. I'd write to anybody. And they would write back and say, thank you for your duty to the country. But many of them didn't even know who Rosie Riveter was at that time. And they say, who, you know, but I didn't give up. I kept writing. Finally, in early 2000, a newspaper picked up on my story. And since then, it just snowballed. It's just wonderful with the results we've got out of it. Of course, yesterday was my 95th birthday, but it was also National Rosie Riveter Day.
That's right.
Yeah, so we've got that too. So
no coincidence there, right?
Yeah. So it's just really rewarding. I don't know if you, when just 2 weeks ago, when the CEO of Boeing, Senator Casey, and Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick and I were on a STEM program with a local school. There was eight, I believe it was 8 schools. And it was very interesting. And they said, we may stay on after the program. We've got a surprise for you. And the CEO of Boeing told me that we're going to put your bandana and your face mask on our Rosie, the Rocketeer. It's going into space. Now it's going to the International Space Station. Now, I don't know whether it's gone up yet or not. And they also said they're going to give me a newly minted Boeing coin. Now, I don't know if that's going to go up or they're going to give it to me when he comes back. I'm not sure, but isn't that amazing? Whoever imagined that we get a face mask and a bandana
Right.
up in space.
No, I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, the things that you've been able to achieve in the last year and a half, despite COVID, and in many cases to help out with COVID and your neighbors and friends and fellow citizens is just incredible. I mean, your life is just all about service, whether it's in World War II building planes or COVID making masks.
Well, it's funny, Holly, because when I started this, I had no idea where I was going. All I knew is the women didn't get the recognition that they deserved after World War II. And I really worked to get that. I thought that's so important. And I was hoping that we'd get the gold medal before so many more of our Rosies had passed away. And I have a group of 7. We were just a social affair. We weren't I just have them come to, gather them together a couple times a year. We just have the best time. And this year we lost 4 of them. So there's like just myself and another one now that's left. So it was a shame. I was hoping they were so proud and happy with what I was doing because none of them were able to do it. They were, starting to, get older and what have you.
Right.
But,
well, I know they all appreciate it, whether they're here or looking down on you, cheering you on to get through it. So it means a lot, I'm sure, to all of them, and it's a good message to all of us, right? To persevere and stick with something that is right.
Yeah, I think that's what I had going for me, my persistence. I think that's so important. And that's one of the things when I speak in schools I like speaking especially to the young girls, because I make them realize that, there isn't anything they can do. They would sit there and say, well, he's a man, he can do it better. But that's not the case. I mean, if you have a dream, follow it. And like I tell them, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it, because sometimes you learn more from your mistakes. God knows I've made plenty. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, don't let it stop you, just keep going.
Right. No, absolutely. We could all learn a lesson from that. I know there's days, especially in the military, we switch jobs a lot and we have to relearn and build on our previous job. And sometimes it's very challenging and it's frustrating, but I think that, that persistence and learning from those mistakes and knowing that that's making you better is really key to moving on and doing well in anything you're trying to do. So
yeah,
appreciate
you have
that
to
lesson.
change. You have to change homes so often and adjust every move like that. It must be difficult.
It is, but it's fun. It keeps it interesting. You get to go around. I mean, I would not have been in Normandy 2 years ago and met you had it not been for my experiences in the Air Force and being stationed out there at Ramstein. So it all works out, and it all ends up just being life experiences, right? Just
that Normandy experience was one of the greatest experience of my life. I mean, anybody that's lived through it knew, at the time, when we walked down Normandy Beach to drop the rose into the water, that impressed me. So when we walked back across that beach, all I could think of was the blood and bodies and things that, it's so sad and really emotional. I don't think there was a dry eye among us, but it's just not just that. It's the whole thing, the whole trip was so amazing. There's so much history there, and it was just a beautiful affair.
Absolutely. No, it was incredible, and it was so great to be able to share that with you and get to see you guys in that space, and being honored for all that you had done as well, right alongside all the soldiers as well. So that was pretty incredible.
Well, it was nice last night, or when on Sunday on my birthday, when a trust out in the national park out in California, when they honored me, I told them about Tammy, and Tammy was in the crowd, so they put her on. And it was so nice. Her and her husband, they did such an outstanding job over Normandy. They had all this, had 5 of us women well in their 90s. And I mean, they took an awful chance with, somebody getting sick or what have you, but it was like clockwork what they did. It was outstanding.
Right. No, I hope Tammy is well. It was great to see her again there in
Oh,
Oklahoma
she
City.
is. She's always great. We always get a good laugh. She's an up person.
Right. So as we come out of COVID and try to kind of rebuild and get back to some normalcy as a country and as a community, what are you excited for? What do you see as going forward, coming out of this experience that we've all shared together?
I don't know. Right now, I'm happy that our country is getting respect and decency back. We were lacking something. Like, we grew up with honoring our flag, our country, and our parents. And for us older people, and young too, when you see when they start destroying the Capitol building, I think we were just absolutely stunned. I mean, we can't even imagine anybody behaving that way. I mean, they have the rights to do and think what they want, but it's only a building, but it means more than that to all of us Americans, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to getting back to where we can travel again, and where when that happens, where's the first place you want to go?
I wanted to go to Salt Lake City. That was so funny. I was disappointed when I found out that we couldn't go.
Yeah.
But no, I guess back to Washington. I've just had so much fun down there with so many of you. That day we met the Secretary of the Air Force. That was a fun day. And
it was.
You can't always plan those days. They just seem to fall together. And that was a nice day. And I just enjoy everybody down there. You've just been wonderful with me. And Holly, when you invited me to Oklahoma City, that was so great. That was really nice. And after this program, I just love meeting all of those people. I mean, when I come home, I said, we worry about the world and what's happening, but when I come home, I feel so safe and secure when I've been with the Air Force. Just gives you the best feeling.
Right. I'm glad you feel that way. I mean, people were lined up to meet you, so we were more honored, even or just as honored as you were to meet us, to meet you and just get a chance to hear your story. And it would be great if you could get down to DC soon. I hope they still do some sort of ceremony or event for you. As many of you that can make it here to get that gold medal, that would be very nice. Are they talking about still trying to do something for you?
I don't really know. I know there's wait going right now. I have no clue what's happening. I mean, my feeling was getting it. That was important.
Sure.
What happens now is minor compared to getting that medal. And it was so cute because it was the medal that came about 4 years ago. Senator Casey's office, one of the ones in Senator Casey's office that I was dealing with, he had told me that Senator Casey talked about seeing if he could do something about it. And that was a year, well, at least a year before it was even introduced. So, I mean, I knew that it was coming. I was hoping it was coming, but I had no clue. And one of the things I talk about, and I really want, I said, one last thing I'm going to ask of you is I want a statue of Rosie in the World War II Memorial in Washington. And somebody said, well, May, that's very hard to do. And I said, well, it wasn't easy getting a gold medal or putting a bandana on into space. So who knows, you got to start somewhere.
You can't put anything past you.
Yeah, and like honoring Rosie now, we got over 5,500 followers on that. And there's so many responding, we'll help. So I don't know if there's a lot. And now that our Boeing's there, maybe we can, get a statue.
Sure.
But that's the last, I promise, that's the last thing I'll beg him for.
No, I'm sure you'll always find some way to give back or make a difference or take care of your fellow Rosies and make sure they all get honored. So I know you'll stick with it.
But it's so nice. I just wish more of them would live to see this day. And the Rosebuds, these are the daughters that are carrying on our legacy. They're great. They're really doing a good job for us, and it's really nice. That's why I started making these bandanas. I don't charge for them. I just made them just to keep our Rosie legacy alive. Well, it got to be, when it started to become so immense, well, then they started sending me the material and the postage, which was really great because I couldn't afford to do all of that too, because it really runs into money.
Mhm.
But it was amazing how the people responded to it. And like I said, the letters you get, they're worth their weight in gold.
That's right. That's what you do. You bring us all together, and you've been doing it your entire life. So I really appreciate that. I really hope this time next year we can be in Salt Lake City and see each other all again. That would be pretty incredible.
Well, you know how I told you, my father was a great storyteller, and he always talked about the man in the moon. We had nothing when we were growing up. It's during the Great Depression. It was back in the 20s. And most of the stories would be about the man in the moon or the stars. And now he said, if I could just tell my father, I walked in a New York Veterans Day parade where Buzz Aldrin was the Grand Marshal. Down when I was down to Kennedy Space Center, I got to meet an astronaut. I get to see the rocket, the Falcon rocket go up. I was just so amazing. I said, I never in my lifetime thought I would experience this. But my cousins and my family all over the country, they're just as proud of me as I am of what taking place. So
Yeah.
mhm.
No, absolutely. And we all are too. You have a whole organization of logistics officers behind you and supporting you and cheering you on. It was incredible to hear your story last year and now just everything you've done since then is more than people, not even a third of your age are probably doing during COVID. So it's a credit to you how much you've been able to get done and take care of yourself and take care of people. And I'm glad to see you're taking care of yourself and keeping up spirits through all of this and keeping busy. That's really great.
Well, I've had my first shot, but I haven't had my second yet. You know, Holly, I was married almost 70 years. I married a sailor during World War II. I often wonder what he thinks of what I've done, what I'm doing, I think he'd
Oh,
be
I'm
pretty
sure
proud
he'd
of me.
be just as proud as all of us.
It was a good one. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
just never know where your life is going to lead you or take you. You just don't know. Like I said,
No,
I had
and
no idea when I started, getting Rosie, getting the women recognized. And I want to encourage these young girls because, well, that's why we were on with Boeing, because they're interested in engineering and they want their girls to be interested in the space program. And I think that's really nice.
oh, absolutely. The big push for STEM and for women in STEM is really
Right,
gaining momentum right now. It's really great to see that being encouraged and so we can have the next future generations of
right.
scientists and engineers.
Look at the amazing thing that women are doing today. I mean, they don't, no more being in the kitchen. You don't have to be. That was a woman's role back in my day. Her place was
Sure.
in the kitchen. But what a change, what a thing. I'm just so proud of our women. Last election, when I seen all the women elected to Washington, I was just so proud of them.
Yeah,
That's nice.
absolutely. So I suppose having our first female vice president was a pretty
It-
big deal
oh,
for you
isn't that
after
amazing?
95 years of life.
That's so amazing. So amazing. I think that's great. Just great. And we're coming together. Hopefully we've got to learn to live together and be together. It's a shame that we have to do all the fighting going on and all, but that'll change too. I mean, I think our younger generation, so many of them spoiled. We spoil them. I mean, it's not their fault. It's more ours than it is theirs. But these, like, they won't wear masks. They won't, they think they don't have to do these things. Well, that's fine, but they're putting somebody else's life in jeopardy.
Sure.
And, they have to learn that. They've got to learn respect and honor. I think we've lost a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, if anything, you'll be a great example and are a great example of that respect and honor and duty to country and perseverance and all the things that you've pushed through this last year. And it's just been incredible to watch. And I'm just so grateful for having met you. And thank you so much for being a part of this organization and being a part of what we've been doing here. It means a lot.
Well, Holly, I love you and I love the Air Force.
And we're actually working on making you an honorary logistics officer and maintenance officer in the Air Force. And hopefully we can officially bestow that on you in a year in person. But You've just done so much for not only our country, but our career field as, some of the first female mechanics. And we all are, walking in your footsteps now, and you're a great example for us. And so we just want to make sure that you're a part of us, and we appreciate everything you do, and we'll make sure that you get yourself a maintenance and logistics officer pin next time we see you.
Oh, it's so nice, Holly. I thank you, really thank you.
Absolutely, well deserved, and we're happy to have you and call you one of ours. So
It's amazing, really amazing. And I thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. And please stay in touch. It's been great keeping in touch with you over Facebook and seeing all of your different news stories and adventures, and hopefully get to see a lot more of that here over the next year.
I said there's so much on Google and YouTube, I have no secrets anymore.
That's right. You're on CNN, you're on local news, national news. I was wondering if there's a station that hasn't covered you, so it's pretty incredible.
I don't know. It was there for a while, every station, when that my mask went viral. But it's amazing the way the people responded to that. And all I was doing was wanting to keep our Rosie legacy alive, and that was my purpose for the mask. But I mean, and the good keep for people to wear them, mostly to promote the wear your mask. But I think it's so important.
Yeah.
So I'll find, like I said, I'm going to wear a banner when I get this last 404 done. That's amazing.
No,
I've sewed for a year.
Absolutely should. That's not a small number to have left either, but I know you'll crank through it in no time, and continue to take care of people throughout this pandemic. So thank you so much for everything, and thank you for your time. I know it's tough. Everyone wants a little bit of your time right now, all the big news stations. So thank you so much for sitting down and spending time with me this evening, and thank you for all your insights. And it's great to see you're doing well, and everything you've done over this last year.
And thank you, Holly. It's been a pleasure.